Today we are going to speak about insights management. So I would like to welcome our speakers. Michael, would you like to start and introduce yourself to the community?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me and thanks for spending time with us. My name is Michael. I lead our research ops and insights team here at Figma and also kind of focused on building out our voice of customer program. Obviously, we're using FigJam, so you guys are probably familiar now with Figma, but we're a product design platform, really helping teams work collaboratively to build products, digital products. So excited to be here. I'm still learning a lot every day, so hoping to share what I've learned so far and hoping to learn from all of you as well. I'll hand it over
Great, thank you.
to Yelaine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. I'm really happy and exciting to discover other inputs about Coda and other ways to use it. So I'm in charge of product operations at U based in Montreal, in Canada. And my mission is to give product teams their time back to focus on products that users love. So a big part of my job is transforming the digital organization toward product-centric approaches, making sure the product teams have access to the right user knowledge. They're able to make the right decisions and execute these decisions into incremental value for the users. And of course, building and growing our first ProductOps team at Ubisoft.
great. Thank you for your introductions. So my name is Ferit Sabitov. I'm working at EPAM as DesignOps consultant, and I'm Coda community champion. Really excited to welcome all of you. And this is our first session, so I'm really excited about that. So please share your questions, feedback, everything. So we are very open for that. So the goal for today's session is to understand how Coda Packs can supercharge your insights management and synthesis at scale. So during our preparations, we figured out that we have some interesting materials around the way how all the user research insights could be shared and synthesized in the way that could be consumed by other product teams inside within the organization. So we would like to share with you a couple packs, couple automations, and couple templates that will help you to set up the same thing in your organization if you want to do that. So we would like to start with a quick survey, with a quick understanding. We would like to hear from you. Please reply back to, you can see all these questions here. You can also select what is your opinion based on this alignment scale question. So we could all see the results. So let's get started. So the first question is, do your partners, product, user research, sales, and marketing use the same insights management tool? Example, Coda, Airtable, Dovetail, or Blossom, or any other tools. So you can vote as strongly agree as strongly disagree. You can see some people, oh, we already have 3 votes. Great. So let's move to the next question. Can the product manager from another product line and product portfolio look for insights that a specific user researcher from another product line or portfolio is working on? So this is more about the way how, okay, we are doing some insights management as one team, but can other partners from other teams can look up for our insights or observations that we figured out recently? Yeah, that's a question. And the last question is, do you believe that supporting and adding insights into your research database is fast and easy? So this is more about the way how easy it is to use your insights management platform within your organization. So let's see the votes. So for the first question, we can see that, yeah, it's still very hard. Insights management is still an early topic for everyone, even like for large organizations. So we are still learning. And I hope that this session will help you to think about the ways how you could mature your insights management and how what kind of new capabilities or tools you could add here. For the second question is, let me show up the results. We can see that we are still in early stage as well. And for the last question, here are the results so we can all follow along and see where we are right now on the industry level. side. Here, we also added research database mastery levels where you could vote on what is your current mastery level is. Are you more on the level 1 where you have some storage, where you have some PowerPoints reports from user research studies and everything? Or do you have a dedicated research database where you have more advanced stuff or like specific platform where you are not just storing files, you are trying to synthesize and make it more accessible? The level 3 is called connected research database, where we are not only doing that for one specific team, but it's available for multiple teams. We have specific process, how to support, how to request, how to provide the feedback. And level 4 is scaled research database, where it's scaled across the whole organization. Everyone in the team, everyone in specific product line knows how to use that. They are using that. So please vote on these things so we could see the results all together. Great. So we can see that most of the people are on level 3. For people who are just starting, this session will help you to see some interesting insights on how you could set it up within your organization. So let's get started. Michael, Yulaine, do you have any feedback? Do you have any comments around the answers that people shared?
No, I'm a little disappointed someone didn't pick level 5, because then I would just hand the microphone over to them and let them take the rest of the time.
That's true. That's true. Great. So let me share the first section here. Again, we'll add more materials here during our discussion. So let me do that. So the first thing, by the way, we have a question. What is your secret? Yeah, somebody voted Redis. So yeah, people are asking, what is your secret? So now let's get started. So let's think about the way what is insights management and what's like competitive intelligence, how it's connected to ProductOps, ResearchOps, and DesignOps. So the first thing here, as you can see here, we visualize the different work streams of DesignOps and ProductOps as separate disciplines, and how ResearchOps is overlapping and connecting these two worlds together around user research, voice of the customer, customer success in some of the cases, and competitive intelligence. From my perspective, when we have a user research as a team, this is one level, right? But the second level, if we can build insights management around these teams, so we could find the processes of how we are synthesizing all the research insights into more actionable insights, how we are able to integrate other practices, other departments with our knowledge management platform, and more bigger picture of that is competitive intelligence, where we are not just thinking about our product and how our customers are using or behaving, what kind of feedback they are providing, but also thinking about other competitors on the market. So there are some interesting tools that we are going to share today that will help you to create competitive intelligence within your organization by synthesizing user feedback that people are sharing on Product Hunt, G2, or any other platforms where people could share their reviews around your product. Here, when we are speaking about competitive intelligence, this is not only about design or user research or product management. This is a place where all partners or disciplines could work together and contribute to one competitive intelligence. I would love to hear more thoughts about the knowledge librarians in the future as well, because when we had a talk with LinkedIn folks about insights management, for them it was really hard to do that at scale, and they need to hire a dedicated research librarian who will be focusing only on the way how we are tagging information, how we are synthesizing insights, so it will be more accessible for everyone. But as you can see here, when we are able to integrate not only user research and product management, but also marketing and sales team, we could get much more insights and have it all integrated that will be available for other product lines or product teams focused and organized by specific capabilities or specific features. And here we have the last part is the way how you could set it up and what kind of focus areas you will need to think about if you would like to set up this insights management within your organization. So most importantly is how we can connect insights, highlights, data, and participants around our research studies that we're performing, connecting qualitative studies on the left side and quantitative studies on the right side. But also from ops perspective, how we could think about the governance model and how we could track, how we could set up the right issue tracking, how we can distribute these new updates, new knowledge within our organization. So there are lots of things you could cover. You could go through some of these things and think about the way, do you have that within your process or not? Will it be helpful to add these kind of things within your organization or not? And speaking about the packs, most importantly, this is the name of the talk, right? The title of the talk is how you could utilize these different Coda Packs that will allow you to integrate specific data sets from different tools. So as we showed here before, different partners could utilize different tools, but Coda could connect all these insights all in one place. It's not easy thing to do because you need to think about the taxonomy, about the way how you are tagging and organizing information, but we are going to speak about that today. And here are some of the tools that will help you to integrate some of the insights in one place. For example, Mixpanel, taking some metrics around specific features that you are releasing, trying to pull this quantitative data into our insights management. Intercom, where you can pull all the feedback, all the questions that people are asking and synthesize it in the way which topics people are referring most of the times, which things they are referring that they would like to change or improve during their experience. So I will post here in a second. I would love to hear your questions. So we have here a widget called Answers and Questions. So if you would like to ask any question, please feel free to do that. So, and we could start. I would like to start with the first question here. Elaine, you're representing product management and product ops person. So how insights management helping product managers in their day-to-day activities? Is it helpful? Is it valuable? Did you see some interesting patterns there?
Yeah. So just to give a short context to the audience about my experience with Coda. So before Ubisoft, I was working at France Télévisions. It's a national generalist media in France. And I have always worked closely with design and design ops. And in this context, we have co-built a user repository template in Coda that directly integrates prioritization and strategic decisions with the product managers. And our goal was to reduce the time from the assumption definition to the integration of the initiatives in the product roadmap. So making it equals to 0, basically. So it means to concretely break down the barrier between design/user lab, depending to your company, and the whole product team, having only one central tool to manage and coordinate the insights management until the integration is the strategy, objective, prioritization, and product roadmaps. So to answer the questions, yes, insight management is key. Every month or quarter, depending on your pace, for PMs, there is that moment of panic of what the best priorities are going to be. Take a step back, looking at your objectives, analyze the impact or not. So it's a big responsibility. So there is this long period of gathering the needs from the stakeholders, from the users, the technical constraints. So managing also to classify them at the same level of granularity, satisfying everyone by justifying the choice done. So there is always this a little bit stressful period, but thanks to insights management, this period no longer exists at all because it saves a huge amount of time and above all, increase relevance as everything is already continuously aggregated, classified at the right level of granularity, and prioritized according to the same method, which can be defined with the stakeholders and with the product team, of course. So, yes, and it's also Site management and the user repository is also a way to justify and to avoid debate around the insight and the priority, because everything is linked to the data. So if there are any questions, it's very easy. You can find the source and you can have the argument in one click. So yeah, and I would like also to add the fact that it helps to accentuate the value of the user research's job role, show how much the precious and very meticulous job which requires time and specific attention to make it in the right way with the right tools. So it can help for the PM to negotiate more budgets if needed to ensure the best quality.
This is great insights. Thank you very much for sharing. I added some notes, and please, everyone who is on the call, please add your notes here as well, so we could share the knowledge between all of us and have these shared learnings. Michael, thank you for adding your note, reducing time from insights to roadmap decisions. Great framing. So I guess this is one of the main themes here, right?
Exactly.
See objectives and understand how specific insights impacts our strategy. Save product managers time on understanding user feedback in one place. So instead of doing all these user interviews by their own, right? They could just go into specific insights management, see specific user segment, see how it affects their product capability, and just see all their feedback and insights that people shared during multiple user interviews. Synthesizing insights is big topic, and this is a huge problem, I guess, for everyone. So we had a discussion with Michael about that. So we'll be really excited to hear his perspective on that. Traceability is huge, yes. Being able to find specific insight and link it to the data and go deeper into specific user interview, for example, and see the recording of the interview just to feel the context. So this is, again, this is one of the cool things that insights management, the right insights management could bring within the organization. Enables people to ask for additional budget at the right time. Yeah, this is a great point. Thank you for sharing. Great. Michael, what are your thoughts on traceability? Maybe you could share do you want me to pull your section into FigJam?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay.
I think the key thing about traceability that I've learned especially here at Figma, the product culture, especially from the leadership down, is very customer centric. I think we've been successful by building a community of users and really listening to those users. And what I often hear is there is no replacement from that feeling and that emotion of hearing it directly from a user. And so a lot of times, you can build a really pretty report or a really pretty presentation, but people still want to be like, yeah, but where's the video clip? Or where's the interview? Or where's the testimonial? And I think having all of that data set up in a way that makes it easy for people to double click, triple click down into seeing that is super key.
Yeah, I'm just adding some notes. Better than beautiful. Better than slides in PowerPoint. Source video recording is better than slides in PowerPoint, right? So again, synthesize, think, insights management is great. I also added the note here, product culture is important. Figma's culture is very customer centric. So that's why it's very important part of your insights management process. Having a community of users. Wow, this is great stuff. Yes. Elaine, would you like to share more about that? How are you recruiting participants for research, for your research studies? Do you have specific community where you are?
Oh, no, actually, it's a real challenge, but it was a note taken from what Michael said. I don't know if you, Michael, on your side, you managed to have a community of users, some community accessible that you can interview according to your needs.
Yeah. I think yes. So I also heard LinkedIn the way how they are recruiting participants, they have external recruiting, but they also have internal recruiting within their product. Sometimes they're asking some like questions there. Would you like to share more feedback around the feature that you just tried? So when people are saying, yes, this is like a experience of how like by specific questions, we could do the participant pre-screening in advance, just to understand if they're matching our criteria and we would like to speak with them. So yeah. Michael, you added some notes here, understanding what your audience preferences are when consuming insights. Example, logic, emotion, roll-ups versus granular feedback. Michael, would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, I think like for me, coming from like a former consulting background, it's very easy for me to just be like very process and like tool oriented. But I think one key thing is like really understanding your audiences across kind of the different stakeholders and knowing what type of insights spark action or spark decisions and kind of pattern matching that, and then trying to really package up your insights in a way that they prefer, and the timing of when they prefer it, I think is super key.
Wow, this is great insight. What kind of insight sparks actions and decisions? This is great. Thank you. So, Michael, would you like to share the way how you have insights management within your company?
Yeah, I can share a little bit about how we're thinking about it at Figma. And this is literally like real time. So we're in planning right now, and this is just what I've been putting together for next year. But yeah, really quick. So my team's charter is really helping how other Figmates and colleagues of mine learn and understand what users need so that they can continue building these amazing products that customers love. And so, I think what Fareed kind of showed in this previous section is just like how complex and how many different people, tools, processes, and data can be involved in this. And I think it's really easy to kind of lose sight of that bigger picture. So what I'm trying to do is kind of think about it more as like an insights flywheel. And it's like the more data and insights we can generate, then the more kind of knowledge that we can create and leverage in the future. So, right now, kind of our biggest goal is helping integrate insights into the product development process. And it usually starts with all these different types of questions. And they range from strategic questions of like, what should we build? What audiences should we go after? What markets should we tap into next? To very detailed and like granular things of like, should this button be this color or this color? Or like, what's the copy and what's the preference here? And so those are kind of our key inputs. They feed into our kind of methodology for just conducting research at Figma. And this is just a simple framework there. But what I want to call out here is kind of like, how might we accelerate this? Right. So Yolaine talked about like, how do you reduce time from like insights to decisions? And this is almost like, how do we accelerate and reduce time from questions to insights? And so I think there's two big levers for us to accelerate on this loop. One is like, who do we have access to? And that's really like different types of people that we can learn from. And so we have this on a scale of like, research recruiting takes a long time. It's like 2+ weeks at least. And so how do we find more people that we have more immediate access to? So we're doing things like rolling research, like talk to a facilitator every Friday to learn how they use FigJam. We're trying to build an opt-in research pools, like just quickly tap into those folks for beta programs or interviews. And then the other lever is like, what do we already know? I think we've probably all experienced this, but it's like we kick off a new research project and it's like, oh, we already know the answer to that. Why are we doing it again? Or, oh, I think somebody did this a while back, but I can't find I can't find the report. I can't find the findings. Right. And so one way to accelerate this is just eliminate the need to do new research by using what we already know. And so I think this is where we're digging into this insights management piece here. And it's really just like inventorying and aggregating everything we already have and just putting it in a place that makes it findable and useful for new questions. So then we close the loop. We finish a project or an inquiry, we output knowledge, we usually socialize that. And we talk a lot about socialization and how that feeds into decision making and like how to trace that impact. I think that's extremely hard. But I think what this diagram shows is the importance of this like last step, which I kind of just call hygiene, with updating our knowledge systems. So I think a lot of times we finish a project and we move on to the next thing, but we don't take that final step of like, okay, I need to archive this. I need to put it into our knowledge base so that we can repurpose it, reuse it, and like this knowledge continues building on top of each other versus like kind of just forgetting what we already know. So this is kind of the operating model for our team. We're we're still very early in this journey and we're still kind of iterating and thinking through it, but I'll pause there before I kind of go into any of the detailed like docs and packs that we use.
Sure, thank you for sharing. And I just wanted to remind everyone that we have here a section called Ask Anything. So if you would like to ask anything, just share your question there. You can share it anonymously or you can share it publicly with others. My first question, Michael, how many people are supporting this complex system?
Yeah. Right now there's 4 people on my team. So I lead the kind of insights management piece. I have 2 rapid researchers. So they basically kind of take these intakes and conduct research projects on like 2-week sprints. And then I have a program manager that is responsible for participant management.
This is great. And how, like, based on these things that you shared, how you feel like you could accelerate? Do you feel like there are some missing points or missing integrations? I know that we have some listeners who are building Coda Packs, and maybe that will inspire them. So you could ask them to build something that you're almost struggling with right now within your system.
Yeah, I think there's just so much foundational infrastructure work needed. And I think one thing that I struggled with is just like where to start. Like early last year, I just scratching the surface of like, okay, these insights repos, I read about them on all the time. Like they all make a lot of sense, but why do none of them really work? And I think it's like really understanding the different types of insights and types of data and projects and the life cycle of that and understanding like why there isn't a single tool that has been easily like, oh, everything goes into here. And so understanding that nuance is super hard. And I think the other kind of like tooling challenge is like when it comes to researchers and like insight producers, I think they're all very creative and craftsmen in their own way. And they all have kind of their own personal preference with tooling and storytelling that makes it really hard to just say, we're going to standardize. And I think there's actually a real trade off of standardizing, of saying, like, okay, everyone must put it into Coda and it must be into this table in this format. And that's how you socialize your insights or that's how you share your work. So I just don't think that's a realistic possibility. I think the beauty of Coda is it can bring in data from so many places using packs and it can automate workflows using packs. And I think that's one thing I really like about it.
This is great. Thank you for sharing. We have 2 questions. The first question is, working as a consultant for clients is fundamentally different than working in-house. How does Coda facilitate working with clients? Hmm. Who wants to answer this question? Michael, Elaine?
I can take a shot at it, but I didn't have Coda when I was a consultant. I wish I did, but I think Coda is really great as far as like how you can organize documents and kind of replicate them, templatize them, copy them, and kind of manage permissions at a document level. So I think it's actually a really powerful tool for that.
Yeah, I agree. From my perspective, I feel like the cool part about Coda, what I really like, is that it's very scalable. So you could create a doc and invite as much editors as you want because all editors are free. And this is the fundamental part of knowledge management. We don't want to have a source that nobody can edit, right? We want to have a place where everyone could contribute and add more things. So that's why if you will take a look into other solutions, they are really expensive at scale. But with Coda, you can start faster, you can start easier, and like you don't need a lot of investments to to start,
Yeah.
right?
I If I may, I just wanted to add something about standardization because it's a big topic and indeed it's difficult to standardize everything. And at the beginning, we wanted to standardize more the results rather than the ways to do it. But sometimes it's difficult and you have also to standardize a little bit because the company is too big and it getting too difficult to align the teams if they don't have the same ways to do it. And with Coda, what we are trying to do today is to have a specific page, a specific environment or specific doc, sorry, for per product or per team, for example. And thanks to the cross-doc feature, we are able to then have a transversal doc
Mhm.
where we can gather the information coming from the different docs, from the different products. And what we would like to try is to have a transversal doc for our B2B products, another one for our B2C products. So it means to have transversal doc per persona or per audience. So it's great because we can take advantage to the researches done from different teams.
Mhm.
So I really like this feature.
Yeah, that's true. Great. We have another question. How you keep up with all those tools? That's the hardest one. Michael, would you like to answer?
Yeah, I think it's really hard. I think the thing that really helped me is the research ops community did a study and kind of produced a tooling census. So it breaks down all of the different tools that people are using based on the research activities. And that kind of really helped me understand kind of a mental map of the different tools and activities that different research and insights teams use, and then how the different tools are used across those different activities. And I think Fareed, you have a link of that you'll share later as well.
Yeah. That's a great point. Like, if you are just starting, just go into communities, right? They have all these studies already, so you could take a look on that. Elaine, would you like to add something here?
No, same. So we don't have a ResearchOps team yet, but as ProductOps, indeed we used to do a survey, and we have also community to help us to manage the tools, to get feedback, and to improve it, to test, to experiment features, and to get feedback, and then make it scale.
Mhm. Great. We have one more question. Michael, thank you for sharing that. Sorry, my browser is not playing nice with FigJam. Could I ask here, how do you arrange for the automated intake of data from external tools into Coda?
I can speak to a little bit to that. So one example is our product team uses Asana for all of the kind of product roadmap and development process. So we basically capture all of our customer facing feedback from sales or customer support and CS teams into Asana, and then automatically route it to each product team so that integrates into their kind of regular backlog and grooming process. And so what we do with Coda is we use the Asana pack to just pipe in all of that data into Coda. And then that lets us do things like triage, or like synthesize, put them into themes, roll them up into reports, or do other types of like data enrichment with it. And it's super easy. The Asana Coda pack is really good. In other cases, we may use Zapier to kind of build some kind of like custom scripts or automation to kind of push data from one place into Coda. And then like also send a Slack message so people know about it. So you can really stitch together nice workflows. that connect with Coda and other external tools.
Great. Thank you. Michael, I know that you have more things to share on your section. Would you like to go over that? So I think it will be really valuable for.
Yeah, I can share some specific examples. I think that's helpful than just kind of like talking about it. But so one of the challenges with like insights is when you're responsible for like aggregating and collecting it across different channels and different teams, you're faced with this problem of like, okay, put it into one list or just give me like a top level view. And I've never been able to find a framework or prioritization framework that like everyone agrees on, except for voting. And so we do this twice a year. We do a VOC rankings report where we'll identify kind of the top 10 or 20 product opportunities. We'll ask the entire customer facing teams to vote on them. And we did this earlier in the year with Coda. It took a long time because I had to use it like SurveyMonkey, Coda, Google Sheets to produce this. But what it does is it extracts all the bias out of the different teams and like who's asking for what and why they think it's important. So this was super cool. And then next to it, you can drill into a specific theme. So if like someone voted on accessibility standards and someone that was number 12, it's like you can click on that and say, well, what are people asking for? Right. And so you have examples of feedback here. We then surface previous research reports that we've done on this topic, any community forum ideas, and then kind of the more detailed ranking analysis. So this report became really helpful for like onboarding new product managers. Like here's the high level problem space that we're kind of hearing from our customers. And then it also helped kind of understand like where the spicy like things that maybe don't get prioritized and why not. So that's been kind of cool. We're moving over to a new tool called RevMap to do that. Like this Coda process early in the year took me 2 months to do end to end. And RevMap let me kind of do it in 2 weeks. So that's been super cool. The research library has been really helpful as well. Huge shout out to the Thumbtack team. They produced like a blog and a Coda template that I basically was like, yes, this is exactly what I need. So I realized that we weren't mature enough to really have an insights repository. Like we didn't have a good taxonomy. We didn't have a good shared language, process, and hygiene. So we started with just the basics of like, put your project research report in here, a high level summary of the findings so that we can reference it and find it in the future. So this has kind of become our foundation for existing research knowledge. Yeah, so that's kind of high level. Those are some of the different deliverables and examples of the insights docs and repositories that we use Coda for. And then below are some of the packs that we use with some of the use cases that I'd say have been adopted. Like these are sticky use cases and packs, not just like there's so many that are fun and interesting, but these are our sticky ones.
Great. Thank you for sharing. I feel like one of the interesting insights is that insights management could be utilized as a tool for onboarding product managers. So they will be aware of our customers, our market, etc. So this is an interesting insight.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to build awareness with your future audiences as well. Like if you help them on their first week, they'll remember that you exist and that repository is there, and they'll know to ask for something when they can't find it.
Great. Yeah, let's move to the second section, and then we will speak about the template that Elaine created with her team. So this is really exciting. Here, I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. I guess Michael already shared most of the things here, but when we are thinking about the process of insights management, there is intake model, the same way how we are doing that within other shared services within the organization, where we're getting requests. Then when we are conducting the studies itself and synthesizing all of that with highlighting specific materials, specific notes from the customer feedback, from the user interviews, by using our own specific taxonomy, how we are generating insights out of that with some important learnings out of specific studies, and how we are sharing. I feel like for sharing, this is interesting part, and I really like the way how Dovetail is looking into that research database or insights management is not only like a place, a document where people could go into, right? So it's like it is a repository, but also we need to think about the distribution internal within the organization, how we could create some kind of newsletters that will be shared to specific product teams if they are working on packs, for example. And if some people are sharing some feedback around the packs, we could synthesize and do this kind of automation in Coda that will notify specific teams if there are some new insights that we were able to add to the repository. And also another thing that I really like about Dovetail is that they are started to think about the way how we could create the research repository as kind of Twitter newsfeed, where you could find all the insights that we are finding from different user research teams, from different research studies. You can filter out by specific user researchers. So if you like the way how they are asking questions, how deep they are going during the interviews, you could just filter out all the insights, all the highlights from them specifically, or you could filter it out and see things based on your product area, based on your user segment, etc. And also another interesting question that people are asking usually is how to measure impact. I really like the way how LinkedIn team is doing that. Sarah and Kevin, they shared their story of how they used Airtable to create insights management for LinkedIn. And the way how they are measuring impact of their insights is that after sharing these insights with specific product teams, they're waiting for 4-6 weeks, and then they are following up with the question, did this insight help you to do something else? Was it actionable or not? So based on these things, they could do some metrics and measure their impact, saying that, oh, within the last month, we found out 100 insights, and 30% of them was really actionable and very useful for the team. And here's the feedback that we're getting internally within our organization. Here, I will not spend too much time, but here are a couple ideas how to do the taxonomy, some frameworks, Atomic UX research model, and others. So if you have a chance, please take a look. Also, there is a Blossom. It's similar to Dovetail, but it's well integrated with the Coda itself. And a couple that will help you to set up the insights management within the organization. And let's start with, and regarding templates, I would love, Yulaine, if you could share your template here and speak about it and share that with the community. And also another important feature in FigJam, you can always click on yourself and click on Spotlight Me if you want other people to follow. Elaine, if you could do that on your side, we could all follow your screen. If you could click on your, yes, we can see. Yeah,
Yes.
we're following you.
Perfect. So yes, I think it's a good cross transition with the atomic research method, because this is what we used for these templates. I don't know if we will go through the template now. I don't know what you
I can share it.
find.
Do you
Yeah,
want me to
okay.
share it? Yeah,
Okay, yes.
let me open that. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Great.
Okay, so basically, this is just an extract of the template that we used. And it doesn't have the product management part with the prioritization of initiative and epics based on OKR. But there is here the user repository part. And this model allows us to do a first level of prioritization of insights based on high level OKRs before moving on to initiatives. And the method used is the atomic research. So it is a connection of 4 main key steps. The type of experimentation. So is it a qualitative research, survey, this kind of things? The facts observed during the experimentation. So you can open it on the left if you want, or you can. Yeah. So there is a first part about exploration. So it was something that we have created in order to show the top 10 most impactful insights. We try to make it a little bit more visual for the stakeholders, something that Dovetail is doing very well. So again, we are trying to improve it a little bit at Ubisoft today, but yes, the goal was just to, if for example your VP or your director asks you, okay, so what are the key insights today? You have the answer here. It's easy, and you have the key new facts and your key new insights, and it helps also to show that the user repository is always active, always up to date. So it's important as well to make it attractive for any audience in the company. After, there is another tab to search any insights thanks to the keywords, the tags. So it's easy to find a fact, and you can have also an access to the score, the high score that we use to prioritize it. And then the product atomic research. So basically it's 4 steps. So experimentations, then the facts. So everything that the user research team found about thanks to the experiments. And then they are able to link all the facts to 1 or 2 insights in order to synthesize a little bit. And then the goal is to prioritize with the entire squad the most important insights according to the OKRs. So we use the RICE methodology: reach, impact, confidence, and effort. And then it's really easy. So the next step was, so it's not in this template, but because it was something that we were still experimenting with the product managers. But after this step of prioritization of insights, then the squad can link all the insights with the technical constraints, the legal constraints, or any top-down requirements, so that they can build the roadmap and yes, and prepare the next steps.
This is great materials. Thank you, Elaine, for sharing that. Lots of interesting insights. And please, if you have any questions, please ask them here in our FigJam file, or share them in Zoom if you don't have access to the FigJam file. So, Elaine, I have a question for you. Like, is there anything new that you would like to improve in your templates? I know like you created this template some time ago. So do you feel like there are some new things that you would like to see? That like, what's the ideal state of this product atomic research template?
Yeah. We already improved it a lot at Ubisoft. So basically, we first removed the product features. So as you can see, we built like filters by product, and it was too difficult and too performance consuming, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we are trying to use a cross-doc feature in order to have 1 doc per product, and so that they can use as well what they prefer in terms of ways of working. So it's great. But in terms of results, at the end, we would like to have a global user repository gathering all the data coming from all the product teams in 1 place, with maybe only the insight level, so that it makes it very easy to use for the stakeholders and the product teams. They don't have they don't need to have the entire facts and all the researches. It's a lot of data. So for this level, it's not necessary. So this is what we are trying today. And also, always in this objective to use a lot the time for the user researcher to analyze the user research, to link it to the insight, to communicate it, and so on. We wanted to improve the facts tab by including a new feature. So it's directly influenced by Dovetail. So it's basically to be able to put all the notes directly in Coda and then highlight the key facts directly
Mhm.
in the notes, and then link it to insights, and then prioritize and so on. So that the user researcher can do everything in Coda. And this is a feature that we have added in the template that we use at Ubisoft today.
This is great. Thank you very much for sharing. So yeah, Michael, I guess we already answered your question. So yeah. So if you have any questions, please ask them here. But Yulin, thank you very much for sharing. Michael, thank you very much for sharing your diagrams. It's really interesting. So I will just add a couple more things that we have here. So the last thing that I want to cover is the tools. As Michael shared, it's interesting insight. Like some of the people ask, how do we know which tools and like to choose from, right? So a ResearchOps community created this survey where they visualized which kind of tools are used across specific use cases in ResearchOps community. So here's the link. Feel free to check it out. Also, there is UX Research Tools Map by userinterviews.com where you will able to find like there are lots of them. So maybe if someone who is building packs could be inspired by based on these tools and create integrations, create packs within Coda that will allow us to connect things more together. Because in like nowadays, like there are so many tools, but like the missing part is integrations, how we could sync them all into one specific knowledge base, right? And here the Blossom, I really like Blossom because they are connecting to other tools. You can share your insights or highlights or video recordings directly into Figma, and it will create you like a beautiful preview of this recording. So you could go into that and check in more details. And here I also visualize like the future state of how Coda could be a better place for product ops folks, where we are connecting competitive intelligence by Google Trends, SEMrush, SimilarWeb. We can connect company OKRs if we are using BetterWorks or any other software. We can connect to our roadmaps if we are using Product Board or AHA. We can connect Jira, Softail, product metrics all in one place. So again, like if there are some Coda pack makers, I hope we were able to spark some of the ideas of what kind of things you would like to build next. Let me go quickly through some of the last part that we have here about synthesizing. Let me just put it here on the right side. I will turn on the Spotlight Me so you can follow my screen as well. So here, if we're speaking about the way how we could synthesize large data amounts, we need to think about different sources of feedback. So if we want to synthesize all the feedback that we are getting from customers and visualize on the timeline, saying like the last quarter, we had a lot of requests around like automations, and now we delivered that to our customers. Now we have some questions about other functionalities or capabilities. We could all like synthesize that in a way that it will be easier for our product teams to follow. But here, some of the places where you could get some sources, Product Hunt, I personally like that. If you want to see some emerging new players on the market, some like small companies or startups with some interesting ideas that they have, and also by pulling all the comments that they have inside their post page, you could also understand what are the main themes what kind of main things people are speaking about. G2, this is more for SaaS tools where you could find all the feedback around specific SaaS software and App Store feedback. Like again, there are so many places where you could pull this data from. It's important, but let's focus on the way how you could synthesize that and integrate that into your coded document. Option 1, how to pull data, is use packs or create your own. So I just released my first public pack for Product Hunt, where you can just select specific collection, select specific product or post, and you just can pull the old comments that you have within this product line, within this product into Coda. And then you will be able to see here all the comments here, the body text. So you could like do the summarize or synthesis of that into Coda. Why this option is better? Because you don't need to spend time on updating all this feedback all the time. You can just set the automation and update this pack every week, for example, and that this is the way how you can like synthesize market signals into your organization in a faster way. Option 2 is to use scrappers. One of the scrappers that I like to use is the Spider, that you can just go into specific tools if they don't have API, open the feedback, select the text fields that people are sharing, speaking about, and create your own CSV file that you can pull into Coda. And within the Coda, you can do like see all these things in one place, so it's easier and faster for you to capture these market signals and pull it into your insights management for next step of synthesizing everything. And the last thing is the way how you could do the synthesize. There are Coda Packs like OpenAI that I'm really excited about. They have summarized feature. I didn't use it yet, but I'm really excited to try it. One that I'm using a lot is Google Natural Language Processing. This is also not only useful for insights management, but also for internal voice. So if you have retrospective notes, you can just synthesize everything and see what kind of things people are speaking about the most. And you can also understand their sentiment analysis on specific topics and visualize the words map, understanding what kind of things people are referring to during their feedback reviews or pages where they are sharing their comments. One of the interesting tools is Interpret, where they have this idea of visualizing signals on the timeline. You can also visualize that within Coda if you will create your own taxonomy, if you will capture all these data points on every like week or every day to generate this trending data. But again, like the cool part about Coda is if you'll have a template and you'll have a pack, it equals an app. So you don't need to, you can create your own SaaS tools within Coda as well. So I know that we are out of time. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you for everyone who joined. I hope that it was like useful. It was insightful for you. If you want to follow and if you want to get notification about the future events where we're going to speak about competitive intelligence in more details, change management and reorg practices, please make sure to follow. But I just wanted to say thank you, Michael and Elaine, for sharing your learnings and investing your time to the community. I really hope that within these kind of sessions, we will be able to standardize industries, and share and evolve together and learn together. Thank you very much for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.